Mr. Keegan Menezes is a second-year student at Flame University, Pune, pursuing a major in business analytics and a minor in advertising and branding. He is a five-time national champion in Kudo and the first Indian male to win a silver medal at the Kudo World Cup. Mr. Keegan Menezes is also an accomplished event organizer and host. During the COVID 19 lockdown, he launched a YouTube channel, podcast, and website, spreading his motivational message: believe in yourself, because if you don't, no one ever will. A budding author, Mr. Keegan is currently working on his first book. With a passion for public speaking, debating, and event management, he is dedicated to helping others believe in themselves and succeed. Let's have Mr. Keegan Menezes on stage.
Thank you, thank you. Imagine this. It's the night before a big competition. You're an athlete and on the crossroads of victory and defeat. What's on your plate tonight could very well decide what happens tomorrow. That is the power of food. Now, imagine this on a global scale. It's the year 2050. 10 billion people are sitting down to eat dinner. Our food choices today about what we eat could very well decide if that future thrives or struggles. Hello everyone, I'm Keegan Menezes, an ex-CNMite, martial artist, and a self-proclaimed foodie. Now growing up, I was the kid who always ran away from dry fruits and vegetables, quite to the dismay of my mom and my dad. Now, taking you back to where it all started for me. I was the kid who was less of the karate kid and more of the kid who wondered what he was doing here. My early days in the dojo, rough. I was the kid who went in there, looked around at all of the sweating and grunting, and wondered, what am I doing over here? My grandmother would often joke around with my parents and tell them they were paying to get me beaten up. Back then, I was also going through all the usual stuff, like wondering about what my direction in life was and just feeling confused. If you would have told me back then that I would have been standing here in front of all of you as a world champion and as a TEDxYouth speaker, I would have definitely laughed in your face. As an athlete, I learned something really important. The importance of perseverance and the mindset of never giving up. Whether it was before my black belt exam or it was before any of my tournaments, I entered with the will to win. It was never I am going to win. It was always I have won this. That's something that has carried me throughout. And credit goes to my mom, from a very young age taught me the importance of affirmations. Now tell me, what food do you eat to stay fit and healthy? And how do you know if this food is wholesome food? Okay, for me, it all comes down to the basics and fundamentals. Let's explain this with an example. How many of you in this crowd have used AI tools like ChatGPT? Put your hands up if you have. Awesome, quite a crowd there. So if you've used AI tools, you would know that to get a good quality output, you need to put in a good quality input. Your body works in the exact same way. If you want to get good health and better work performance, you need to put good, healthy food in. Now, I'm not here to preach to you what you should eat, what you should do, what is right, what is wrong. I'm a university-going student. I'm not an authority or an expert in this space. However, I will tell you things I have learned and experienced as an athlete and as someone who's trying to stay fit and eat healthy. I remember it was before a tournament of mine where I was trying to lose weight to get into my weight category. It was the most surreal experience of my life. Why? I was following a very strict diet of very high protein, low carbs, low fats, a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, and I was practicing in the gym for 2 hours every single day. Yes, it was a symbiotic relationship between my exercise and my diet. One would not work without the other. Even at the gym, I was not focusing only on weights, as most people do. I was focusing on my cardio and on my core workout too. Another very important thing for us is hydration. As people, we stress ourselves out too much. We need 8 to 12 glasses of water daily just to stay fit and eat healthy. Today, everyone is exposed to the internet. Now, while this is also a good thing in a way because people have started becoming more health conscious. I mean, obviously, if you keep seeing fit looking people on your screen all day long, you might want to look like them, won't you? But there's also a downside to this. There are some people who take things into their own hands and take it too far. I have seen people who have started skipping meals, popping pills and having medicines, thinking that this will help them, lose weight. But this is not only dangerous for their body, but also for their health. People need to realize there is no shortcut to success. You need to go through the grind of working out and following that diet if you want to be healthy and fit. The best example for this for me would be through my experience at Tiger Muay Thai, which is a training center in Thailand for athletes who come from all around the world to come to train before different competitions. Over there, I was given 3 balanced meals per day. Now the food there was amazing. When I say amazing, I mean it was very energizing and refreshing. Back at home, after I have food, I want to take a nice nap and go to sleep. But there, I was raring to get back into that ring. The food was high in protein and low in fats. And sweet potatoes, a powerhouse of nutrition, was served to us almost every single day over there in the form of air-fried chips, mashed potatoes, and even in salads. Salads there were non-negotiable. Now, tell me, how many of you have checked on the internet and searched good, fit, diet to stay fit and healthy and have tried to follow it, but later you found out it probably wasn't the best decision? The world out there is heavily influenced by the thousands of gym bros and protein companies, all of them telling us what we should eat and consume and put into our body. Now, this is quite frustrating and also a little bit scary in a way, and very contrasting to the fact that this is not healthy, good food. Now, you would wonder, what is healthy food, right? These protein companies may always give you big promises that, oh, have a product and you will be completely fit. But that's not the case. These companies care less about your health and more about their profits. As long as they are making money off you, they are happy. The next thing I want to move to is myths. There are a lot of myths over there about vegetarian food not having enough protein as compared to non-vegetarian food which has meat. This is a very big misconception because vegetarian food too has a lot of sources of protein like lentils, pulses, nuts, and soy products. Now, confession, as a kid, I was that kid who said a meal without meat was like going to a movie and having no popcorn. For me, it did not make sense. I could not understand it. But I did my research and I realized that you don't need to necessarily rely on meat for your protein. I mean, think about it. Plants are the main primary source of protein, even for the animals that we end up consuming. If there's one takeaway for me from this, it's that we often fall for all of this food propaganda out there, telling us what is right to eat, what is wrong, and what you should and should not. For me, I think everyone's intake should be directly influenced and in line of what their goal is and what they want to achieve in life. Not based on what the latest Instagram trend is telling us is healthy food. Also, don't worry, I'm not telling anyone to go vegetarian. I myself am a hardcore non-vegetarian. I can barely go 2 days without it. Back at Flame University, where I'm currently studying, forget meat. Even eggs are not allowed on campus. Initially, while joining, I was a little skeptical and worried as to if this will, pull me back in my performance. But no, I was able to keep winning medals. I was able to keep my energy up and even stay awake through my business classes. I mean, what else could you expect? Turns out vegetarian food too could keep me going, which broke that bias in my mind against it. But the small choices that we make on a daily basis have a compounding effect on our performance. For me, I know the difference between entering a tournament after having a balanced meal versus after having junk food. Honestly, I will tell you this. Do not enter a tournament or any competition after having junk food like burgers or fries. It does not turn out well. You feel very heavy and quite bloated. Now, I'm sure each one of you in this audience has heard this one phrase somewhere or the other. Anything in excess is bad. And very rightly said. Anything in excess is really bad, especially when it comes to protein and meat in your diet. You need to have a balanced diet. Now, I'm sure everyone out there is built different, has different needs, so I'll just talk about myself. I like a lot of protein, less carbs, less carbs and less fat, more amount of fiber, lots of fresh fruits and vegetables in my diet. Health is a conscious decision we make every single day. My coaches and my parents drilled one lesson into me as a kid, and it was that your health is your wealth. My mom often says this in all of her talks. What are you going to do with all the wealth in the world if you don't have the health to enjoy it? And very true. Food isn't just some fuel. It's your way to unlock your best potential and be your best self. Now, let's step back for a moment and zoom out. What is the future of food? Lab-grown meat, plant-based protein, algae-based snacks. No, I'm not making up stuff from some science fiction. This is a reality if we intend to feed a growing population sustainably. But as we innovate, we should not forget to rely on the basics. The focus should always be on real, wholesome, and healthy food. Now, I've learned that food is much, much bigger than just the calories you see on these food apps. It's about choices. Choices each one of us make on a daily basis. Because these choices affect our body, our mind, and our future. Whether you're training for a championship or you just want to ace that next exam, what you eat matters. And now let's look at the big picture. On an individual level, what you eat shapes who you become. But on a societal level, the food systems we live shape the world we leave behind. In an ever-evolving world, let your food be your foundation and let your choices be your superpowers so that every bite today will build the champion you all will be tomorrow. Before I conclude, I would like to thank our principal, vice principal, management, all my wonderful teachers who have helped me, my mom, dad, and my nanny who are here in the audience. You're my biggest supporters. And thank you, this wonderful audience, for coming here and listening to my story. Have a great evening. Thank you.